All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Shelby, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no problem.
John Boyle, you want to start us off?
I would be happy to. Shelby, just first of all, welcome to Seattle. I'm curious what your thoughts were about this trade and just the opportunity here with the Seahawks.
Honestly, I'm actually pretty excited. When I first came into the league, the one thing I always kept saying was I want to be able to live in a lot of different cities and experience a bunch of different cities and going to Seattle, pretty much accomplished that goal. But just the one main thing I would say is when it comes to Seattle, yeah, I've ran into a lot of veteran players who have played in Seattle, and none of them ever had anything bad to ever say about Seattle. So that definitely makes it that I'm a lot more excited. They say it's a great place for veterans, and they just they do things the right way. And so just hearing all that, even before the trade, I was excited to come to Seattle.
Thank you.
Corbin?
Hey, Shelby, welcome to Seattle. You've had quite a journey to get to this point. You were released by three teams earlier in your career. What was the big difference maker for you being able to overcome that adversity? Did it boil down to you making changes on a personal level or just finding the right team and right scheme fit?
I would just say not really giving up. Being cut. I've been cut like 6, 7 times in my career. Like 4 times by Oakland. Got cut by the Jets. Got cut by the Cowboys like 6 times here. And I really would just say it was just never taking no for an answer. It was always like my big thing of just, refusing to stop. And I remember at one point I almost did quit. I remember I just had a workout with the Chargers my third year. And I remember I knew I was good enough to play in it. And it was at the end of the year, I already had like 8 workouts or something like that. And then they didn't sign me. And I remember I called my wife. I was like, I'm done with this. I feel like I'm better than what I'm getting credit for. And then, credit to her, she was like, you got to stick with it. And then that next year is when I was in Denver. So, it definitely was a tough road, tough road, a lot of learning lessons. And it's funny because you obviously, a lot of you know the story. I was in Seattle for a workout and and that was my third year and they didn't sign me. And so now here we are, we could have just avoided all this and just signed me earlier. But I always just say it's perseverance, just not giving up, man. I got little ones, that look up to me. And so it's all about really just, being a role model for them and showing them, dad worked hard and got to where he wanted to go and you can do it too.
Bob?
Yeah, Shelby. Yeah, welcome to Seattle. I read that you were working out and saw news that Russell had been traded to Denver, and then you got a call from the GM and kind of figured out you might be part of the deal. Is that right?
No, so I was in the facility. I was in the Broncos facility. I just got done with my workout and I was eating lunch, and then it popped up on the screen that Russell Wilson was getting traded to Denver. And then, it's crazy because, we all got excited. And then I looked down and get a call from the GM. So I was like, oh, damn, part of the trade. But, that's just the business of it, man. The way I look at it is I still get to play football. I'm still living my dream. I'm truly blessed to be playing a sport for a living that pays well and takes care of my family. So I'm just happy to keep, still be playing football.
Curtis?
Hey, Shelby, welcome to Seattle. I know Pete Carroll and Clint Hurd have talked about how they're looking to shift the defensive scheme towards more of a 3-4 setup. And I know you haven't played for either Clint or for Sean Desai, but it's going to be a chunk of the Vic Fangio scheme. So how do you see your fit in that? And what about your skill set fits that the best? And what are you looking forward to in joining the defense here?
This is my defense. If you really think about it, this is the defense I've ran the last pretty much 3-4 years, and I'm very comfortable in it. I'm pretty much knows the ins and out of it. But then, I'm just excited to get to work with Coach Hurt. I've heard so much about, so much about it. I remember Teddy Bridgewater was the first one to text me. He was just like, "You're going to love Coach Hurt. he's the man." But just this scheme is it's a different scheme, and definitely, if you can play this scheme, you can definitely play other schemes. I always say because of the D lineman, they ask you to do a little bit of everything. But I'm a big believer in this scheme. I feel like it creates a lot of turnovers, it creates a lot of havoc, and it keeps, it's very easy to scheme and confuse quarterbacks in this scheme. And I just think that it definitely fits me very well, obviously. But I've always believed in, 3-4s. I just think 3-4s are better run stoppers. And, in the division we play in, obviously, with LA. The Rams. Well, you got the Rams, you got the Cardinals, you got the 49ers. The Rams and 49ers are run-heavy teams, and this kind of neutralizes that a little bit. But this defense, you guys will love it. I swear, you guys will see it. It's really a mixture of rush and coverage, working together. You're going to get a lot of zone out of it, but it's once everybody gets it, it's going to be hard to stop.
Miles Vita.
Yeah. Hey, Shelby, like everybody else, welcome to Seattle. I'm looking at the stats. 2019-16 starts, you had 49 tackles. 2020-21, 16 starts, 49 tackles, and so on. What was similar about those 2 years, 2019, besides the starts? Do you mean anything come to mind for you there?
Really just working. I would just say my work in the offseason really, I feel like, has propelled my play during the season of just taking your diet a lot more serious in the off season, really just like, working your tail off in the off season really puts you in a position to be successful during the season and make plays both in the run and in the pass. Just really, I would definitely say, learning the defense a lot more, learning where you can kind of, play around and where you need to be. You just make plays. This defense is, it's a lot of times where you can just make a lot of plays, especially playing the defensive end position in this 3-4. It's you get zone inside or zone outside. You're in a position to make a play on either gap. So it just makes it that you make a lot more tackles in this defense. I feel like it's D-line friendly. It's a very D-line friendly defense, and I think that, especially with the guys we have, they're gonna eat. They're gonna eat. I know Puna, Q, Al, all of them, they're gonna love this. The defense is legit, man, and I just can't wait just for you all to see.
Thank you.
Jen.
I don't want to imply there's anything missing from your game, but where would you like to see your skill set or your game take a jump this year?
I feel like I've always believed in my consistent rushing the passer, and you have to be dominant, in your run defense. You don't let anybody through, and you make plays behind the line of scrimmage. You got to make those splash plays. You got to get the, you got to get the forced fumbles. You got, you guys obviously know my game. A couple batted balls for interceptions. That's game-changing plays right there, and that's kind of, you do that, and then you control the game a lot more.
Greg.
Hello, sir. Welcome. How old are your little ones? What are their names?
So let me see. I got 4. So my oldest is a freshman. Her name's Kamaya. She's 15. Then the next oldest is Caden. He's 6. That's my oldest son. My youngest daughter, Evelyn, she's 3. And then Shelby Jr. is 15 months.
What does fatherhood taught you?
What hasn't it taught me?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, it's just, you can't always be ready for the unpredictable. It might be walking in with a diaper off one day. You really never know. It might be, my kids are pretty good at this, but you might have a whole picture on the wall one day of crayons all on the walls. It's just, don't sweat the small stuff, and that's the thing, is like, you got to pick your battles. If you're gonna fight with your kids about everything, you're gonna be fighting all day.
Yep.
So you really got to, it's all about just picking your battles and just be their person, be their one. I'm really big on, let them express themselves. Let them be the person that they want to be. For my daughters, let them know that they're valued just as much as my son. Like, let them know that they're just as good, if they can do just as much, if not more, than everyone else. It's all about, breeding that confidence in them so that they don't have these problems later in life, that they know they are worthy, they know they're enough. And that's really, I feel like what, being a dad is. I'm trying to prepare them for life. I'm trying to prepare them for once they leave the nest, you know what I mean? So it's just be there. Now, always the easiest thing I would say about a parent is be there. All the other stuff you figure it out. But if you're not there, you'll never figure it out. Just be there.
How difficult and challenging is that in your profession? I guess NFL is a little different than some sports like baseball or basketball, but are you there, or do you feel like there's a void you have to make up for?
No, so this is where the trade kind of comes in, because this will be the first time in all my young ones that I'll be gone half the time.
Oh, they're going to stay back in Denver?
Well, they're going back and forth, but my oldest is a freshman. I always promised her I would never move her out of high school.
Right.
I'll take the L and move. Because, I feel like high school is a time where you build lifelong relationships and friendships. And who am I to pull her out? Like, that's not fair. I never got pulled out of school, so, and I have friendships from, elementary, middle school, you know what I mean? So it's only fair, it's only fair to them. But, it's just, this will be the first time I won't be with them every day. And that's really my challenge, is just not being with my kids, all the time. You get home, and the best part of my day was, Daddy, you walking, Daddy. And you're not gonna get that every day, but at the end of the day, you gotta remember you're doing this for them. You're doing this for for their futures, but also it's what I love to do. So, and they understand that, and obviously you're worried about missing out on the times. Like, we have young ones. A week is like a year almost. They change so much every week and every month that you don't want to miss any of the time. And so it's just, that's why you just got to value the time that you do have. So we just got back from Disney. Like, we didn't do Disney. We went to LA. So we did Legoland. We did Universal, Knott's Berry Farm. It's just about spending the time with your kids and being present. And I know I have to leave soon, but it's all about the time you do have, making sure you spend it with them the right way.
Thank you.
Tim?
Hi, Shelby. Welcome to Seattle. I should ask if you had to take out a mortgage in order to go to all those theme parks. with 4 kids.
It definitely cost an arm and a leg, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
that was my first time. That was my first time there, though, so I wasn't expecting all this. And then I remember, actually, it's funny because we went to Hawaii like 2 weeks before for the oldest spring break, and we went to lunch. And I took the young Evelyn, went the 3-year-old, and then Kamari brought a friend. And we went to lunch. It was 5 of us. It was $200. So this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
A football related question. You said once everyone sort of picks up on the scheme, it's going to be tough to stop. What is going to be the most difficult thing for guys to pick up on learning this scheme and making a transition from, what's been a traditional 4-3 kind of style in the past?
I would just say, D-line wise, you're going to have to read step every once in a while when you're in base. You could be head up on a tackle. If you could, those are situations where you kind of have to change up, how you even set up in general. But then also, I just, this defense puts a lot of pressure on the linebackers and safeties. And all the checks and stuff are really all on them. And I know there's ways to make the scheme a lot less complicated. And I just started going through stuff, so I'm trying to see, where it's less complicated at. But it's all just about, communication and just making sure everyone's on the same page. If everyone's on the same page, we'll be fine. Even if we're all wrong, if we're all wrong together, things will work out.
Corbin?
Hey, Shelby, I'm going to get a little technical here, but from a defensive lineman standpoint, do you prefer mirror step or power step? Does that depend on the alignment you're in or the opponent that you're matched up against?
It's completely dependent on the alignment, because if I power step and I'm head up on the forward tech, I'm head up on the tackle, you can get cut off easily, either way. Because you're going forward, they're going side to side. You look at the schemes of the teams who play, 49ers, Rams, Cardinals, they all have that fast outside zone out, they have all that. So imagine trying to power step through that. You know what I mean? Like you're just going to get cut off, and you're going to create a log jam in the middle of the field. So it's just dependent on what your alignment is. You know, if I'm a 3 tech, I'm not trying to read. I'm trying to hit it. You know what I mean? I'm trying. But if I'm playing that 1 tech inside shade of the guard, I'm reading. So it's really just all dependent on where we're lined up.
Curtis?
Yes, Shelby, you mentioned you were here on a visit before. Did you remind Pete and John of that? And if so, what did they say when you were like, hey, you could have had me? Yeah.
They know. I made sure I'm talking trash with all of them. Like, y'all had me up here. Y'all had a chance to sign me. And y'all let me go. And now you had to trade for me. So, it's just, I think it's just like kind of like my career coming full circle. I would say is, I remember when I came up here for that workout against Seattle, I really wanted to be here. And, because once again, you only hear great things about Seattle. And so it's just like, you want to be a part of that. You want to, build on that culture. And so when you get traded back, it's kind of like, oh, okay, this is, it kind of was like meant to be, it kind of feels like, especially after all that. And even last year when I was in free agency, Seattle was interested, but then Denver kind of just beat them to the punch to it. But it was just it's always been a mutual interest between me and Seattle.
Masvita?
Yeah. Shelby, how much film study do you do? Because you just reeled off everything, the type of schemes that teams in this division play. So is that something you've always done in terms of scouting the opponents and outside of your division?
No, man, I just know football. It says you watch so much film and you see so much stuff. And, I mean, I've practiced against the 49ers when I was in Denver. We had a joint practice with them. And I've been around long enough, I'm going to year 9. I've played almost every team. The only team I think I haven't played is the Saints, to be completely honest, and that gets knocked out this year. But it's just, I've never played the Falcons, actually, either. So I could knock both of those out this year. But, it's just being a student of the game and just watching and just even think about that playoff game against the 49ers, all those playoff games, 49ers, Cowboys, 49ers, 49ers, Packers, Rams, Cardinals, you watch the scheme and it's all very hard outside zone and play action off of the outside zone. The outside zone has a cutback, and that cutback could get you 10 or you could lose 3, you know what I mean? So it's just, that's the NFC West in general. I feel like that, I feel like every division has their bread and butter of what they do. And I always say the NFC West is a outside zone play action division.
Thank you.
All right, last question, Bob.
Robert.
Robert?
How are you?
Bob, are you there?
Yeah, Shelby, just to be clear, when exactly was that first visit to Seattle? Do you remember exactly the year and the month or any of that?
The first visit to Seattle would have been early September 2016.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah, I just wanted to ask exactly when that visit was.
Oh, early December 2000. No, early September 2016.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks, Shelby.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Hey, also, I just want to say, can't wait to get to work with all you guys, and I've heard nothing but great things about you guys. And so, this is, cheers to the future with us. You guys have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Shelby.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shelby.
Bye, fellas.
Thanks, Shelby.